This is video 2 of a 3-part series that I'm doing on how to master music, and today we're talking everything EQ. By the end of this video, you're going to understand how to EQ your music for clarity, punch, and brilliance so that no matter where you take that song, it always hits hard. So now I'm going to just flip open this Pro Q3 and I'm going to suck some low end out of it just with a low pass and get it a little bit closer to the reference that was sent to me. So let's do that. There's like a brightness. Back to the reference. Still a little bit too bright. We're going to pull some more out. Some more of that mid-range I need to pitch. Cool. Let's here. Cool, let's try another layer of saturation. Boom, that made it better. Back to the reference. We're definitely getting closer. There's still a brightness here that I need to find and delete. That's abrasive. Okay, so what I can see on this real-time analyzer is that we've got a peak here in the top end, basically 2K and up, and then a low-end bump, and we're a little underrepresented in the mid-range. So I'm going to go into my EQ and experiment with what it would sound like adding a little bit of that mid-range back into it to see if it does anything for the track that makes it more pleasing. listen to this EQ, this particular mid-range bell curve when I bring it in and out. It's not like it's making a drastic, breathtaking difference, but it does make the song feel more full to me. So this is out. And now in. It's maybe a bit much. We're going to ditch just a little bit more top end too. Okay, now I'm noticing on that kick drum, it's a little thuddy, and I want it to be just a little bit more scooped. So I'm actually going to see if I can isolate that frequency in the whole mix and get away with ducking a little bit of that boxiness in the kick drum without ruining everything else. So let's see if we can do that. That there. I'm gonna try something else. This Studer tape machine sounds good. I want to see if I can beat it by using the Ampex, which is something I sometimes like and sometimes don't, depending on how I feel that day. So I'm gonna do what I always do. I'm gonna scroll presets and see if anything jumps out at me. To the reference. So this is something that some people see me do and it really bugs them. I already have an instance of Pro Q3, but it's just for like my brain. It's getting kind of, there's already a bunch of stuff happening here, and I don't really feel like doing more on this particular iteration of the plugin. And I'm about to add low end, and I don't really want to add low end on the EQ before it hits my 3 saturation plugins that I'm currently using, because that low end energy is going to change how those circuits behave with the audio. So I'm going to actually just insert another Pro Q3 at almost the end of my chain here and do some other stuff with it and just let this one be as it is. I might go back and visit it later, but I don't want to look at more on this particular plugin. I just want to kind of start again and do more stuff. So I'm just going to open up another Pro Q3 and keep going. You know what this actually needs? This needs the Pultec. I forgot about this. So I use the age-old Pultec trick if you've heard of it before. And if you haven't, you're about to hear about it. There's this old trick that people use. This is a very old EQ. Obviously, it's not the real EQ. We're just faking it here with plugins. But what people would do is they would turn up this boost, which boosts the low end, and they would turn up the attenuation, which pulls back the low end. But the way the two EQ curves behave with each other ended up making it a really pleasing sound. So let's try that. I've been missing that energy. Back to the reference. I finally feel like I have the low end hitting in a similar way, which I'm excited about. There's still a couple things that I want to clear up. There's a little bit of muddiness still in the low mids that I want to see if I can clean up, because I think it'll make it just feel like it's a little bit, well, more clear. And that's what we're going for. And then I have a couple other tricks up my sleeve that I'll show you as well, but we're getting there.
Gonna dodge
sometimes you just have to start again. I wasn't getting what I wanted out of those EQs, so I'm just going to wipe the slate clean and try again. Pre-chorus. So Soothe is a super cool plugin. If you want to learn how to use Soothe and put the final touches on a hard-hitting master, you will have to tune in next week for video 3 of this 3-part series. If you got something awesome out of this video that you feel was helpful, please hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Tell your friends about the channel. It helps me grow. As always, thank you for being here, and I will see you next week.